Content to us is key, and if you look at the way most people do it now, there'll be a number of departments that decide what is going to go on the label. And the way they communicate that to the artwork team, the person who's actually going to generate the artwork, is also key. Because if they don't communicate it well, they'll build the artwork wrong. But if you take a range of products, if you took something small like 5 or 10 products, and it was the same product with 5 or 10 different sizes, and look at what they do. They'll pull together a Word document that says, here's all the content that needs to go on this 50ml pack. And they'll pull another Word document together for the 100ml pack. Now have a look. There'll be at least half of that content on the 100ml pack is also on the 50ml pack, but they've now duplicated it. And then they duplicate it again on the third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one. So the mechanism of collecting the data and storing it and checking it, typically, not in all cases, but typically it's a Word document. And just by that fact, you're duplicating it n number of times. Now just think of an organisation that's got a couple of thousand products. How many times are they storing their address? How many times are they storing their manufactured by statements? And then get into the more important stuff like the warning statements, the legal statements, the allergen claims. All of those are being duplicated all over the business in different documents. And what that really means is that by the time it gets to the artwork team, they've been instructed to do the same thing a number of times. But if that goes back round the artwork approval process, what actually happens is somebody says, oh, can you change that allergen statement? But they're actually telling you to change it in one pack. What about the other 30 packs that are using it? So collecting the data and that data collation and how you do it, if you do it right, you can remove all the duplication, you can remove all the errors, and you can communicate much better to the artwork team. Forget about the technology, how you do it, but how do I make that data set faster, more consistent, no duplication, and how to communicate it down. And if you do that, you'll take about 50% of all the errors out of the artwork.
And duplication equals error equals risk.
Yeah, and it does. And the other thing about data, is, or the brief as we like to call it, how many times does an organisation say, oh, we've just changed an ingredient? Or there's a new regulation statement which says we need to find all the artworks where we've claimed this, and we need to change the claim in line with the new regulations. Just ask somebody to find all the artworks that they've got to do. Really hard, because they're storing documents. We haven't just got the 5 Word documents over here, I've now got 5 Mac files stored. And how many times did the artwork get done before it was approved? 2 or 3 times? So actually, I haven't got 5 Mac files, I've probably got 15 Mac files and 5 Word documents, all of which have got duplicated data. And the simple request is, find me all the artwork that uses this statement and change it. It can take people months. And they're still never sure whether they've found everything.
And the real issue here is because they're storing documents and not the data within the document.
Yeah, not that, so they'll version control the document, they'll version control, you know, the revision and review of the document, but in that document is the real core data. And that data, whether it be a statement, a claim, an ingredient, a marketing claim, whatever it is, needs to be easily stored and easily accessible and never duplicated. Okay? And I think that, you know, you've heard me talk about iPods and vinyls, and it's the same thing. When I had my vinyl records, I might have had 20 copies of the Sting, you know, particular record, but I didn't know. And I had to keep manual records on paper of how to find it. And now I've got my iPod, I know exactly what records I've got. And if I want to create my own playlist, I can create a playlist by picking the tunes. When we talk about data collation for artwork, it's the same thought pattern. Let's get away from documents and data and handwritten indexes, and let's store it in a way that makes everybody's life easier to do it and reuse it, makes the artwork team's job easier to do the artwork, and then most importantly, is easy to find and track. So if I want to make that one claim change, I can find thousands of artworks with it within seconds. I only have to change it once, and all the artworks are updated. If you have a document-based data collation, not database, you can't do that.
And I'm also at the same time significantly minimizing the chance of errors.
Significantly, because you're not, you know, if we did some work on some pharmaceutical packs with some GlaxoSmithKline, some Wyeth or Pfizer as they are now, and we analysed all their packaging from different categories of drugs, and it ranged from 90% reuse of data to 50% reuse of data. So that was basically saying on a range of 50 drugs, up to 90% of the data is existing somewhere else. So if you remove that existing somewhere else and remove the duplication, you're only having to manage it once, you're obviously going to reduce your risk of getting it wrong.